Let me start with a hard truth. Most people will never escape the cycle of poverty. Not because they're lazy, not because they're not smart, but because they were never taught how the system actually works. If you grew up in survival mode, chances are no one ever handed you the manual. You were taught how to work, how to obey, how to stay out of trouble. But not how to build wealth, not how to think differently, not how to break out. So let's change that today. In this video, I'm going to break down why most people stay poor and how to break the cycle no matter where you're starting from. Let's start with reason 1. People confuse income with wealth. A higher paycheck doesn't mean you're building wealth. You can make 6 figures and still be broke if you spend every dollar. Wealth is not what you earn. Wealth is what you keep. Until you understand that, you'll always chase the next job, the next raise, the next bonus, and still feel behind. Reason 2. Most people were taught to trade time for money. Go to school, get a job, work 40 hours a week. That's what we were told. But trading time for money puts a ceiling on your income. There are only so many hours you can work. Wealthy people learn to build systems, assets, and skills that earn for them, even when they sleep. You don't get rich working harder, you get rich working smarter. Reason 3. The cycle of survival thinking. When you're broke, every dollar feels like a lifeline. You can't think about investing or saving because your brain is in crisis mode. And survival mode makes long-term decisions almost impossible. You start thinking in days and weeks, not months or years. That mindset keeps you in the loop, always behind, always reacting. So how do you break that? You start by creating breathing room, even a little. $5 in savings, $10 less spent. 1 bill negotiated. When you give yourself margin, even a small one, you start to feel something new. Control. Reason 4. People don't understand compound growth. Not just with money, but with effort, habits, and learning. If you save $10 a week, you might not feel rich. But do it every week for 2 years, and you've got over 1,000 saved, not counting interest or growth. More importantly, you built the identity of a saver. The same goes for reading, working out, developing skills. Tiny steps done consistently create massive results over time. Reason 5. The environment. If everyone around you is broke, spending carelessly, or hating their job, it becomes your normal. You start thinking success is for other people. You start feeling guilty for wanting more. That mindset kills dreams before they even begin. To break the cycle, you need to change your environment even if it starts online. Follow people who talk about growth, listen to podcasts, read books, get around people who think bigger. Reason 6. Most people stay poor because they avoid discomfort. And I get it. Trying something new is scary. Budgeting is uncomfortable. Learning new skills can feel overwhelming. But comfort is the enemy of growth. If you want a different life, you have to be willing to do things that other people avoid. It's not easy, but it's always worth it. Reason 7. People think one big break will fix everything. They wait for the lottery, the dream job, the perfect business idea. But that keeps you stuck waiting instead of building. Success is not a jackpot. It's not one massive leap. It's a series of small, boring steps done with discipline. You don't need a miracle, you need momentum. So how do you actually break the cycle? You start with a decision that says, I'm not going to let my past define my future. Then you take one step, just one. Open a free savings account. Read 10 pages of a book about money. Watch one video on how to build a side hustle. Call and negotiate 1 bill. Start cooking instead of ordering out. Look at your bank statement and highlight where your money went. These may not seem like life-changing moves today, but over time, they are. Because the real shift isn't about money. It's about mindset. And the moment you believe that change is possible, the moment you see yourself as the type of person who can grow, learn, and build wealth, everything starts to shift. You stop seeing yourself as a victim of the system and start seeing yourself as a builder within it. You stop copying what broke people do and start modeling what successful people think. You stop saying, "I'm stuck," and start saying, "I'm starting." And I'll tell you something personal. Most of the people who made it, the ones who changed their life from nothing, they didn't start with a master plan. They started with a decision. Then they showed up every day after that. Even when it sucked. Even when no one noticed. Even when it was slow. So if you're broke today, I want you to hear this. You are not broken. You are not late. You are not hopeless. You are simply at the beginning. And beginnings are hard. But beginnings are also powerful. Because they mean the story is still being written. So write it. Start small. Stay consistent. Think long term. And watch what happens when you refuse to stay where you started. If this helped you, share it with someone else who needs it. Because when we change how we think about money, we change everything.